we talk about you all the time like I've known you all my life.
Right, yes, yes.
So I'm so grateful.
I am
Yeah,
grateful.
I'm grateful. You all doing wonderful work here in New York.
Yes,
You told me
yes.
your church moved.
Yep, we on that 55 Plain Street.
The last time I saw you, I don't remember the name of the street, but you were in a white building on the second floor.
Oh, Nielsen.
And your
Nielsen
husband, yeah,
Street.
your husband installed one of the sphincters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
the last time I
Shirley
did.
and Alvin
Yeah,
Kingston.
yeah. They used to go to
Yeah.
my church.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Bethel Pentecostal on Humboldt Avenue, Roxbury.
Bethel?
Pentecostal church. You heard of Bethel Bible Institute?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but that's my church. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who's your pastor?
Doctor. He's not a doctor. Yeah, Reverend Smalls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard of.
Yeah.
I've
We're going to
heard
be
of-
celebrating our 100th anniversary of the church. September. I announced it on the radio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 100 years. The first Pentecostal church in Boston.
Wow, that's
Yeah, so
amazing.
God has done some marvelous
That's
things.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to come and
I
see
think
you.
I think my husband probably know him. I don't know.
I'm sure your husband knows them.
Yeah.
I'm sure
you know?
he does.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I'm sure he knows them. If all the ministers get together, they should have a minister alliance club. Right now, I'm putting a men's group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually you met her? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Okay, so we'll talk. You ready? Huh? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes. I am so grateful that you all are here on today. This morning, it is good to see all of you, all the beautiful faces. And so we just thank God for each and every one of you being here with us on today as we come out, amen, to, we have so many things that are going on in our community, in our cities. And so we are here on this morning just to bring some more awareness to mental health, how we can take care of ourselves, take care of one another, our family, which is so important, our community, right? And so we thank goodness, we thank God for the woman that's going to come forth, that's going to give us some insight how we can better take care of ourselves. And so it always says that we got to mask up first before we can assist anybody else, right? We have to mask up first. So I'm so grateful that will be here with her on today. We thank God for the breakfast. I hope you all enjoying it today. Is it good? Eggs and sausage and biscuits, right? Orange juice and apple juice and fruits, which is good for the body. So we know that it's important that first we take care of ourselves. Breakfast is very important, that we take the time out, and so that's why we wanted to start out to make sure that you got a good breakfast. I see lots of water bottles on the table, which is good, right? Oh, I need some response, okay? Yes. Some response. So, God, we just thank you for this morning. We ask that you would just continue to bless each and every family that is here on today. We thank you for waking us up this morning, still to come out and to be with one another as we come for this event, mental health awareness. We just want to say thank you, and to each family, we thank you for the New Heights Charter School being open again for us, and so we just say thank you. We thank you to our director of New Heights, who is Mr. Omar Walker. We thank God. We thank God also for Mrs. Sophia Stephanie, the principal, that made it possible for us to be here on today. And to the host as well, Michael Gilbert in the back. We thank God for him. Amen. And we thank God for Dr. Tola, who's going to come and share with us. So I'm just going to give you a little bit history about the New Heights Charter School. New Heights Charter School in Brockton. First, their motto is that we all go to college. We all go to college. We all go to college. Yes. It is first wall-to-wall early college public charter school in Massachusetts. New Heights is Massachusetts' only free public school that prepares all its students to earn free, transferable college credits while in high school. Many of our scholars begin taking college courses in the 10th grade. That's exciting. 10th grade, they're already in college. That's awesome. All will have the opportunity to graduate from high school with at least 12 college credits. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Our goal is that half of our graduates will have earned enough college credits for an associate's degree from our partner school, Massasoit College. During a recent school year, 95% of our 10th graders earned college credit for free. Many of us wish that we had that happen, right? For us, while we were in school. But they get the opportunity to have all of this, earn college courses for free. We introduce our students to the benefits and demands of college and instill the readiness skills necessary for student success. Our scholars receive high quality academic advising and coaching from a the school is committed, creative team of educators to ensure that are all college and career ready. Yes, come on, let's give it up for New Heights. Let's give it up for New Heights, yes. They're doing an awesome job here. Yes, yes. I'd like to just tell you a little bit history about myself and Pastor Michael Gilbert as we have will be launching our project. It's called the Umbrella Project Mass Foundation Incorporation. We are a 501(c) nonprofit faith-based organization in Plymouth County, Massachusetts here, where our corporate office and work resides in Brockton, Mass. We like to think of ourselves as living organisms because we help to support people, and that's why we are here today, to support. Our mission is to educate and to empower youth, teens, adults, youth, teens, and adults by assisting in gaining knowledge, life skills, and opportunity to better themselves and their community in which they live. Isn't that important? We all want to better ourselves, right? We all want to better our children. We all want our community to be better. Yes, yes. It said the student racial ethnic graduation rate is as follows. So we have the Asian 91.7%. We have Black, that's in this community, 77.3%. We have Hispanic, come on y'all, 74.3%. We have white, 83.2%, with a total average of student graduation rate of 77.7. We want to take that higher. Come on, we want to take it higher. We're looking at 100%. Yes, yes, let's speak it. Yes, yes, let's believe it that our children, our family can do it. Can they do it? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It says there's over 5.4 of the student population who are homeless and are displaced. And we want to change that rate. We want to make it go down, right? Yes, yes. We are here to build to serve. That 22.3% is in ways that address childhood ACEs and traumatic experiences from our youth, families, and our communities. We're going to have to do some work. More work, amen, yes. More work is required from each and every one of you. It starts here with us. We have to do more work in our community to make it more stronger, right? Yes, that we can come together and we can overcome because we are overcomers. We are winners. We are in victory. Yes, we all can do it. Oh, yes, 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 yes. And so just a few of the accomplishments that the Umbrella Project have done. We've been part of the gun buyback programs with Brockton Police, We've been with Safe Streets Community to watch over our community. We have hosted holiday dinners for displaced and homeless families. We have also had summer youth programs, drug and gang prevention programs, youth and adult mentoring, National Alliance for Drug Endangered Children. We've been a part of that, youth mental health first aider, and so much more that is required of each and every one of us that is here on today. Come on, let's give it up. Yes, yes, yes. We also want to just acknowledge the United Way that they've celebrated 100 years of supporting the community. Come on, let's give it up for United Way. Mr. Dennis Carmen, who is the CEO, their mission is that we unite people, ideas, and resources to improve lives and to build a stronger, come on y'all, stronger. Let me hear y'all say stronger, stronger community, yes. Our vision, we fight for safe, healthy, diverse, welcoming community where everyone, we don't want to leave anybody out. Everyone needs are met equitably, respectably, and compassionately. So we have someone here from our district attorney office, and her name is Ms. Janice. We're gonna call her, but I must say this, our district attorney, Mr. Tim Cruz, who is usually make himself available for each and every pretty much event that we have. And I'm very surprised that he's not here today. I won't be surprised if he slides in because that's what he does. And so I just want to read just a little bit before I turn it over to Ms. Jen. In 2015, in an effort to address the opioid crisis, District Attorney Cruz partnered with the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department to create a county's drug abuse task force. The task force served as the clearinghouse for coordinating law enforcement efforts, education, overdose prevention, outreach, and data dissemination. In 2017, the task force partnered with all 28 police departments, all 28, Mr. Cruz is in it, to develop and implement Plymouth County Outreach, which is called PCO, is a police assisted recovery intervention program where a police, listen, the police and every recovery coach conduct outreach visit to victims in hours after an overdose. That is key. We have to make ourselves present. District Attorney Cruz and his staff are also doing groundbreaking work with drug endangered children, training members of law enforcement and school faculty in the county and around the state on how to identify and to support students with adverse childhood experiences. Again, it is so important that we reach out to our children, our local communities, and be a support. At this time, I'm going to welcome Ms. Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Cantwell. I am a community programs coordinator with the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. What an act to follow. I am nowhere near the dynamic speaker that Miss Eva is. But I just want to say that I thank you for listing the work that we do, but all of that work is collaborative work, and it would not be possible with people like Eva and Michael Gilbert, who have jumped in with both feet to help this community. And we are always happy to partner with them, and we're always happy to be invited. We do have a special guest today. One of the initiatives our office started in the last couple of years is funding community and comfort dogs in the community. And Harlow is here with us today. So one of the things I'd like to point out is that Harlow is in part made possible by funding from our office that comes from seized drug money. So our office turned drug money into puppies. This is our favorite initiative. And Harlow obviously doesn't work alone. He works with Officer Gladys Morgan here from Abington Police Department. And his whole job is to make people happy. So if you have any questions about how this program works, feel free to ask Officer Morgan or myself, and feel free to pat and talk to Harlow, because that's what he's here for, is to make people feel better. So thank you for having us today. Oh my goodness, I'm a person everywhere. I never get a reception like that when I go anywhere. Thank you again for having us.
Wow, what amazing, you know, immediately when Miss Jen announced that he was coming, and so officer, she just tapped and he immediately just went straight in to command. That's pretty awesome. Like, that is awesome, you know, and what I like is that when he stood right in front of her at attention. You know, that's amazing. I mean, he just stood at attention, and he did not move until, you know, he was given the command to. So that is awesome, and it is good to know that we do have, you know, outlet that we can go to, such as, you know, the service dogs, and so many people have them, which is so important, you know, and so, you know, let us continue to partner. Let us ask, you know, as he's going around and just, you know, saying, listen, I'm here. I want you all to acknowledge me, you know. So acknowledge him that he's here. What's his name? Carlos. Acknowledge Carlos that he is here. Yes, yes. Look at him. Some of you all should have some pictures with them. I know I would, right? If it's okay with her permission. Is it okay? Yes, yes, yes. And then you can take it home to your kids that are not here. And you could show them, you know, and you can show the importance of taking care of animals. You could show them the importance of taking care of animals, you know, that they mean a lot, you know, to us, that they can support us when we're going through. Yes? All right, all right. You all enjoying breakfast? Is it good? Yes, make sure if you want to get more, there's more. So at this time, we're going to have this young lady that we met, Miss Barbara Epps. My husband met her first, and he just called and said, you know, I've met someone that's awesome, and we're about to do a program, and she said she'll be happy to come out and share her story and sing some songs for us. And so when she do that, we're going to be moving quickly after, because we want to get Dr. Tola up, and we want to give her much time needed so that she could share with us on today. And so I'll read a little bit about her after Miss Epps. And Voices of Hope, hope, Voices of Hope. Come on, let's give it up for Voices of Hope. Y'all tell them sing. Come on, sing.
Good morning, everybody. We're so excited to be here to share our hope with you and our voice with you, because we just got to adjust here a little bit. So, can you guys sit down just a tad? We're grateful to be invited by the Gilberts, Pastor Eva and Michael Gilbert, and excited to be here with Brother Steve Kidrow with the Gospel Connection, International Gospel Connection, and our friend Evangelist Romella, and Minister Erica, and all our other friends here. But I'm just so proud of our choir. We're based out of Quincy, Mass, on 85 Quincy Ave, and I started this program last August because I've been working in music ministry for over 30 years, and you know, I see a lot of choirs in the church, and I've been part of the choirs in the church, but we need to get out in the community and show God's love and show the hope that we encompass through his power and his might and his glory, because if it wasn't for surrendering my addiction over 34 years ago, that this wouldn't be possible. So I'm just excited to be here with my beautiful choir, Voices of Hope. There's Evelyn, Tony, Lita, Sharika, Anshella, Liz, Carolyn, and Sister Ema. And we have been singing, so we have a workshop on Tuesday and Thursday from 5:30 to 7 at New Way Peer Recovery Center at 85 Quincy Ave. And I teach basic vocal skills, and then we work on the songs that we like to bring to the community. So we're available for community outreach and performances, so, and we represent the programs at New Way as well, which they have all pathways to recovery, which is important to know because recovery is possible, and recovery comes in many forms. And music therapy, pet therapy, yoga, all other things, meditation, you know, there's more ways to recover than the 12 steps. I do appreciate the 12 steps too, but we're here to say recovery is possible, and we're a community of allies in recovery, and because not only does addiction affect the individual, it affects the family, it affects the community, it affects the jobs. And so our mission is to bring awareness to recovery and the possibilities, and also to use our voice to share with hope and inspiration. So we hope you enjoy. And we're going to start with, we don't have musical accompaniment, so we do everything a cappella. And remember, we're a community choir, so you know, we're coming from all different levels of singing, but we do believe everybody has a voice. Yes. So we're not out here to be perfect, but we're a work in progress. And so we hope that you enjoy, and we have so much fun doing our music. We come together to support each other. We come together for fellowship, and it's a wonderful thing. So we hope you enjoy it. I hope I didn't talk too much, but this stuff is important. Too late, right, Leah? And you know what else I love about this? We're diverse in age and background, and addiction does not discriminate. You know, so it's in all areas of our lives. So we're bringing it all together for you all. So here we go. So we'll start out with a call and response song called I'm on My Way. And hopefully these songs bring hope to you as they bring to others, okay? So, I'll stop. So I call it out, and they respond, and if you decide you want to join in, it's up to you. So guys, get in front of the mic. Just check the mics, okay? Check, 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 check. Can you hear okay, everybody? Yep. Can you hear me? All right. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the freedom land. To the freedom land. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the freedom land. To the freedom land. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the freedom land. To the freedom land. I'm on my way. Glory, hallelujah. there. If you get there. Before I do. Before I do. If you get there. If you get there. Before I do. Before I do. If you get there. If you get there. Before I do. Before I do. I'm on my way. Glory, hallelujah. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Glory, hallelujah. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Glory, hallelujah. I'm on my way. Step up, Liz. All right. You know, there's some leadership that comes here, but it's teamwork. It's teamwork. And we all got to blend, and it's all a process of teaching and helping each other, right? And that's part of recovery. So the next song is another nice little spiritual to remind us that we always have the angels watching over us, okay? So we're going to talk about that, or sing about that. It's called Angels Watching Over Me. All day, all night, angels watching over me, my Lord. All night, all day, angels watching over me. I went down to the valley to pray. Angels watching over me, my Lord. I got so happy I decided to stay. Angels watching over me. All day, all night. Angels watching over me, my Lord. All night, all day. Angels watching over me.
And if you're feeling sad and blue,
Angels watching over me, my Lord.
just call on him, he'll see you through.
Angels watching over me, I say. All day, all night. Angels watching over me, my Lord. All night, all day. Angels watching over me. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Angels watching over me, my Lord. Still I know I'm a heavenly bound. Angels watching over me. All day, all night. Angels watching over me, my Lord. All night, all day. Angels watching over me. Oh, Evelyn.
If you get there before I do,
Angels watching over me, my Lord.
you tell the angels are coming through, yeah.
Angels watching over me. All day, all night. Angels watching over me, my Lord. All night, all day. Angels watching over me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Don't be
Yes,
singing
yes, yes. Come on, y'all, yes. Wasn't that beautiful? Yes, yes. Yes, all day, all night, angel watching. Yes, yes, yes. We thank Miss Epps, amen. And the Voices of Hope. Yes, come on, y'all. Come on, yes. Yes. Awesome. Teamwork, I love it. Yes, I love it. Teamwork, getting together, making it happen, making it possible. Yes. 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 They're going to be coming back later, and they're going to close us out with a few songs. Yes, but it is just, that was just beautiful. Come on, let's give it up again. Woo-hoo! 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 Yes, yes. So we're going to move forward. At this time, I'm going to read about her, give you something on her background. Dr. Tola, yes. T. Samaria. She'll give it right to you. Is a double board certified psychiatrist and addiction psychiatrist at Mass General Brigham, a faculty of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, and an emotional wellness strategist who is passionate, I like this word, passionate about mental health. You have to be passionate about it in order for it to happen. Women's issue and overcoming the stigmas associated with mental health. She helps professionals, physicians, overcome addiction, depression, and suicidal thoughts. She is the director of Dr. Tola and creator of Addiction Support System, an online platform, community program, etc., that uses a multi-step integrative therapeutic framework that incorporates extensive research that let you know she's done her homework, y'all. Clinical practice and listening to hundreds of patients with addiction to guide patients to a place of recovery and wellness. And that's what the Voices of Hope was all about. Come on, y'all, make some noise right there. Yes. After seeing the devastation of alcohol and drug addiction in her own family, many of us have those personal experiences, right? Dr. Tola now uses her expertise in addiction to support system framework to help others. Dr. Tola has been tapped as an expert professional for publications, podcasts, and films, where she speaks about mental health topics such as addiction, suicide, and depression on numerous stages. I myself am a witness to some of this. Dr. Tola completed her residency at Columbia University, New York City, and her fellowship in addiction psychiatry at Harvard. She received an award from American Academy of Addiction Psychiatry, and has also received an award from Columbia University, New York City, on her work on physician suicide. She has been featured in Medscape, the Canadian Medical Journal, the American Association of Public Leadership, the American Journal of Addiction, Health, Careers, the Washington Post, Authority Magazine, Thrive Global, and podcast shows. Come on, let's make some noise. Come on.
Well, thank you. It's so wonderful to be here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hopefully we've had some breakfast. So, usually when you eat, you kind of get tired. So hopefully we're kind of like, the Voices of Hope here have literally fired us up, and we're all excited just to listen. So this morning, I'm, really, again, I'm so grateful. It's such an honor to be here, just, again, representing, with mental health as a psychiatrist, and just breaking the stigma with mental health, letting people know that there are ways of coping. The work is hopefully not just on me, it's a workshop, so really I'm hoping to tap into your questions, and we can kind of get into it, in terms of challenges, what you're seeing, what you would like to hear about and know more about. So hopefully that will be part of what we learned today. And thank you again, the Umbrella Project Foundation. This is just a wonderful day to be here. When we talk about mental health, we talk about the fact that it deals with your emotions, your psychological, your social well-being. There are different aspects of our lives that are literally touched, and it's a holistic approach, and that's kind of how I step into it, because there are different areas of our lives that are literally affected when we think about mental health. One of the things, my favorite thing I like to say so much with mental health is it does not discriminate. It doesn't discriminate against your gender, your age, your spirituality, your race, whatever it is, finances, your income status. Mental health is out there, and everyone is impacted and affected in some way or form. We all have or know someone, if not our individual selves, but we might know someone, of course, who's gone through a mental health challenge. And when we talk about mental health, it's such a broad topic. There are different areas when we think about mental health. So we're thinking things like anxiety, constant worrying about everything that's going on. You have the panic attacks, you hear a lot about that. Of course, depression, no longer feeling joy, hope or loss of pleasure in the things we once enjoyed. So those are like, some examples of, different aspects of mental health. And then we begin to see the things like schizophrenia, the psychosis piece, where there's impairment in perception of reality. There's illusions, hallucinations, and feel free, I'm very excited to have questions at the end. So if I'm throwing things at you that you're like, what is she talking about? At the end, definitely, I'll be happy to elaborate some more. And then of course, we have our substance use disorders, which we're seeing, prior to the COVID and the pandemic, we had the epidemic with opioid crisis. We're still in it. It actually got worse as we're seeing, things unfold. So we've all been impacted by that. And, for me personally, having, experienced that with my uncle who passed away from addiction, overdose. And, it's something that it doesn't just go away, right? And going into the field of mental health, it was more important for me to understand what are the things. I think first is really breaking the stigma with mental health, because it was a subject and topic that you didn't feel comfortable talking about. It was not discussed in the family because it's a hush thing, right? Nobody wants to talk about these things and issues in their lives, in their family lives. But for me, I had to reason there has to be something that we can be doing to really understand the depths of it. We hear that, okay, we have negative derogatory words such as addicts. We no longer say that, or terminologies as that. We now begin to understand that it is a brain disease when we think of addiction. It's a brain disease. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, yes, I want to get high and I want to die today. No. We know that there is something that has changed in the brains and how it's working. And unfortunately, they succumb to the pressures of it. We have not to get too technical, but we do have what we call the reward system. And part of the reward system, and I'm going to use food as an example, we eat food, we feel good, we feel excited. You go shopping, you feel good. It's the same, there are different levels of reward, and it activates a neurotransmitter in the brain called the dopamine. And what that does, it gives you that sense of, I love this. And your brain makes the recognition and remembers that when you ate food, that cheesecake, that was really good. And, so it remembers those things. And it's the same with our drugs that we see. The unfortunate thing is, of course, the level of reward is so much higher. And it forces your body to say, I need more of it. And before you know it, you could, with a pattern, once you start or open that door, then you begin to kind of persevere in that area. You continue to step in and it changes the dynamics and the formulation of how the brain functions. And so that's what we see a lot of times with addiction. And, you know, we always say, of course, it's better not to try at all. But if you do end up in that space, you know, there's so much this work that can be done, things you can do. There's therapy, there's treatment. You know, we have a lot of rehab programs. You know, like just like Barbara mentioned, it's not just AA. There's so many other groups that you can tap into. Music therapy is very powerful. Animal therapy, you know, we talk about smart recovery. You know, there's so much. Celebrate recovery. A lot of things that we can definitely tap into when it comes to addiction. And so that's addiction there. And so when we, you know, I'm definitely going to be happy to answer more questions about that. But when I think about mental health, for me, the area I want us to understand first is how do we break the stigma with mental health? You know, it's huge. You know, we unfortunately had the pandemic. Yes, we're like, you know, 2-3 years down the line. We really haven't seen the depth and breadth of the impact of what the pandemic has done. For us in the hospital setting, there's been a significant increase in depression, suicide, anxiety. You know, there's so many things we're seeing. And granted, it's technically supposed to be over. I don't know, we'll see. But, you know, we're still seeing it. I think, you know, the goal is eventually it will be like a regular flu kind of cold. And, you know, but it is what it is. We have lost people, you know, to this. You've lost your jobs, you've lost the sense of being. You know, when we think about psychiatry, psychology, it all has to do with connectedness and being, you know, just losing that ability because we were forced into isolation. We lost a lot of things emotionally. We lost that connectivity, that social aspect. And so we continue to see the impact of that because now we're finding people who are not even able to get back into that social setting. It's almost like, I'd rather not. I'd just rather stay at home. Yes, I prefer remote work, but I think it's important that even if you are in the remote setting, you know, trying to get out and doing things that will force you out of that comfort place. Because, you know, it's a way to even stimulate your brains to begin to, you know, utilize it and, you know, function in a different way. And so we're seeing that, and I think the COVID in itself has really helped a lot of companies, you know, be more aware where there's more employee assistance programs for depression, for, you know, any kind of mental health challenge that we see. I think one of the biggest things we're noticing is mental health days. So if you don't have it at your companies or your jobs, make sure you ask for that because there is mental health day. You know, it's so important to take advantage of this because we all do. And, you know, we're gonna see that, you know, towards the end as we talk about some skills sets as well. But so these are things we wanna do. And I think every individual here has a role to play when we talk about breaking the stigma with mental health. You know, I always say if your roof is leaking, we don't just let the water, you know, just pour. We call someone for help, right? You know, if you have a history of diabetes and you're on medication, you don't just sit there and say, well, I'm gonna let my glucose just go really high. We go to the doctor. But why is it that with mental health, we all sort of shy away, isolate, not seek help, you know? And so this is the part that really boils down to each individual person in here. We have that responsibility, not just to ourselves, but to our children, because they're gonna emulate what they're seeing, right? If you're not mentally stable, we begin to think about, you know, some of the symptoms, irritability. You know, you find yourself, well, why am I always angry? Why am I always frustrated? And then you're acting out and you're showing all of these behaviors that you're like this, but this is just not me. I don't feel like myself. This is not me. And these are the symptoms. And we don't want you to ignore it because by ignoring it, what happens is it kind of feeds in. So we're literally building a clog there and eventually you kind of explode and when you begin to feel like I can't take it anymore and think of negative thoughts. And so these are the things we're seeing. So when you say breaking stigma with mental health, we have that responsibility to say, it's okay. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to say, I don't feel good today. You know, it's not just, I'm having a headache. It's like, I just don't feel good. And it's okay to say, you're not alone. You know, everyone in this room has gone through something. We don't all share it. I think my favorite thing is you don't know what I look like in the morning when I wake up, and you don't know what I look like when I'm going to bed at night. So you don't know if I'm crying myself to bed or waking up in the morning like, wow, do I have to do this again? We don't know that. For every individual, there is something that is, that is happening. And it's not every time. We have those waves and seasons that just tends to flock in. And so we understand that, even as professionals, we understand that. I listen to patients all the time like, oh, your life seems really hard, but you don't even know mine, But when you think about it, everybody has ability to either respond or the resilience that is needed. Not everyone might have that resilience, and I'll get into that with our children because they're a different ballgame. And if you're noticing, for those who have young kids or teenagers, it's a different ballgame with them. But these are the things we're seeing. So we are all going through something. And so it's okay to reach out to a friend. It's okay to, be that friend that says, you know what, can we make that appointment together? Can I get you to the hospital? What can I do? How can I help you? A lot of times we don't just want to say things like, well, you're okay. It looks like everything looks great, or, well, at least you didn't die, or, things that would really fuel it. Because one of the things we hear is, I want to lose weight. And the person is skinny. And you're looking at yourself like, is there something wrong with you? But it's perception. For that individual there, being in a certain weight range is more important to them than anything. So we can't say how much your depression is versus the other person. It is individualized. So there is something about that is beginning to affect the ability and how you function. So when you go to work, you're like, well, I just need the 10 pounds out. I just need this down. And everyone is looking at you like, is she okay? Is he okay? But that is what we're seeing with depression, because everything looks glamorized. We're in the technology world today, and we're seeing social media. Their lives look perfect, but yet when we look into it and we see and hear, like, and he died by suicide, and she died by suicide. She was Miss America. What went wrong, Life looked glamorous and beautiful. So a lot of times you don't know what is going on with people. You don't know the depths of it. What we do is just what we see on the outside and what the front. And one of the things I always remember in the particular patient, he said to me, he was like, I was at the party and I was just thinking of how I was going to end my life. And that resonated with me because we see patients all the time. We're not psychics, but we do have intuition. If you're a believer, you have the Holy Spirit. You have that sense in your stomach knowing that, there's something here that just doesn't sit right. You might not be able to identify it, but press in, lean in a little further into that individual you're communicating with. It could be your child, it could be your spouse, it could be a partner, a friend, where you just feel sense something is. And sometimes you get nudges like, okay, well, give that person a call or do this or do that. And this is literally one of those areas that we're able to, that might just be the call that saved that individual's life. It could have been a call that just, turned their entire day from being a negative to a positive. And so these are the things we, begin to see. So when I hear that and I see people, I understand, like, it's not just what you see. There's so much to contend with today. And I'm going to just make this shift here when we talk about our children, because it's so important. We see so many children in the ER all the time, and they come in feeling suicidal. And I'm seeing as young as 7, 8, and I'm like, do you even understand what that is? And the point is they do, because they've done something significant for them to present to the hospital, where they'd either sell some pills at home and they grabbed it, and of course the parents or either were coming from school, counselors, or the things they have uttered and said. So these things are happening. We're in a world where there's social media, and social media is wonderful, but it's also it has its negatives. There is nothing that is perfect or 100% proof. Everything has its pros and its cons. And so while we're able to, do all the media thing, work, with today, and which is great to fuel whether your organization, your business, whatever it is you're doing, I remember that when you were born, and I'm looking at our ages here, we're probably not in the sense where, technology was so rampant as it is today, but you can imagine 10, 20 years ago, where, now we have Facebook, we have TikTok, all of these things. This is what our youth are growing into. So you cannot use your mindset of, well, we used to play outside, but now they're just clicking. We can't. We have to be intentional about making changes, or even trying to get them out of those kind of spheres and saying, okay, well, maybe today's not technology day, if it's not school day, school week or things like that. But these are the things they're having to contend with. Who it looks the best, how many likes you're getting, how many people are liking your comments on Instagram or on Facebook, TikToks, and all of those things. You're constantly hearing, well, she looks like this, I should look like that. He looks like this, I should look like this. And then we're seeing, of course, the negative things and negative sides with social media, and just being more attentive to that, because our children are in a very, very vulnerable state. This is what they're growing up to and learning. And as they learn, this becomes their reality. For us, we didn't have that. We had to go out there, play, struggle a little bit, read, but there is that instantaneous gratification that we see today with our youth. And if it's not happening, they're gonna find it somewhere. And so what do we do as parents, as guardians, aunts, nieces, uncles? What do? Be intentional when you're speaking with your children. At church the other day, the pastor said how he has a 30-minute ride, and he picks his son up, and he's like, yes, 30 minutes ride. Let me hear everything about what happened in school today. And the son doesn't really want to share. But at night, when he's about to go to bed, and he's like, yes, go to bed so I can get my work kind of done. He's like, well, can you just stay in here and let's snuggle a little bit? And then he just starts to spill, and he just starts to share everything that is on his heart and on his mind. And I thought about that because I'm like, we're all in a hurry. And to be able to be that much of to make that much of an impact in the life of your children, your, young, nieces, nephews, we have to create that time. It can't be, oh, hey, how are you doing today? Okay, oh, okay, sure. No. If they give you the answers, okay, what does that mean? So I'm gonna teach you guys something today. What does that mean? What does okay mean? What does how did my day go mean? I want more. I want to hear details, because that's where you begin to hear really their processing from what occurred. Maybe a dispute with a friend, but the way they processed it, and then you can think and reason with them, help them kind of just articulate it, kind of, spread it out a little bit. So you're like, okay, well, maybe that's not the best approach to it, or this is the better approach to it. But we begin to hear those things. And one of the things I always say with our children, more importantly, is because they're not gonna tell you everything. And for me as a professional, when I'm listening to them, I'm like, Lord, help me, because I have kids too. And I'm like, I think the mothers should know, or fathers should know this, but they're not gonna share with you. They're gonna share with strangers, and they're gonna spill everything. And I wonder, I'm like, how can we know? How can we get to that place? So you want your children to be your friends, but there's also a line of discipline and a place of safety that you want to pull them to let them understand, like, this is a safe space to come to. You can ask, you can talk about these difficult challenges, because we're gonna continue to see that, as they grow older, the hormones kick in, everything is about my friends. And you're like, okay, well, they're friends. So for those who have young ones, enjoy the time. And for those who are in the teenage years, adult transitioning, it's the same. Your child is your child, no matter how old they are. We don't just say, oh, tell me everything that is going on with you. No one does that. They don't open up easily. So you have to nudge a little bit kind of get them to feel comfortable, create space and time if you have more than one child, to spend time with them, be intentional about getting to know who they are, what they like, what are their challenges, what are their struggles, and also be quick to listen to those negative things. Last week on the WRBB radio station, we had a talk with Gabrielle Moncrief, who lost her son to suicide. And one of the questions I asked, because it was, did you know, were there any signs before his death? And for her, there weren't really signs, but one of the things she said that resonated with me was he had called her one time and he said, can I come home when I need to? And he lived in a different state, so she wasn't there to see his daily life. And that's a huge, right? Because it's your child, your adult son is asking if they can come home. The first thing in mind is, are you safe, right? What are the challenges you're going through right now? And we don't have all the answers when we think about suicide. We just don't have all the answers. But one of the things is paying attention, especially to our young adults today, our youth, on those words they say, how it's impacting them. We already say, if you have the Spirit of God, listen to things they say, like, oh, I just don't think I want to go to school anymore, or I don't think I want to be anybody in the future. As a believer, you stop there and rebuke that spirit, because it is going to affect them for the rest of their life. We talk about manifesting. We talk about the fact that whatever we say in the atmosphere is registered. These are things that are very important to know. You don't just accept any negative word. If we say in our home we speak positively. We say, yes, we can, right? We kind of dwell on those things and areas. It's not to say we're not going to have bad days, but it's just to say that we're feeding positive energy into our spirit and spirit man, into the things we do, so that when those negative things come, the power of the positive will overcome the negative. And so these are things we want to be doing, for our children, not just children, really, your adult children, for yourself as an individual. When you find yourself saying, well, I'm just bored, I'm fed up, I'm not sure what I want to be doing with my life, or is it worth anything? Wouldn't everyone be better off if I'm gone? These are the kind of things we begin to hear, and we don't want that to be the case. We want to be able to say, channel it in a positive way. One of the things I remember when I had a conversation with a family member and who lost her brother to suicide, and as she shared with me, one of the things she mentioned was, he had everything. He was from a Christian home. Parents invested in him. He got a scholarship to go to medical school. He had gone from home to a different location. And at that time, every parent that's like their biggest dreams, right? To get your child to college, to, pursue a higher degree, postgraduate, and things like that. And so he had that. He was also musically talented. He played the guitar, he played the drums, the piano, and for her, she sang. And so one of their ways of bonding was he would play the guitar and, she will sing, and it was just kind of their way of connecting to one another. And, he went off to med school. Yes, family would visit here and there. Thought he looked stressed, but, medical school is stressful. So it wasn't something that they could have prepared their mind for. It was never heard of. It had never been done. It was, we all don't think about that until it hits close to home. And so I remember as she mentioned and just talking about it, we're talking years later, it sounded so fresh. It sounded just like it had occurred yesterday. The depths, the pain, that emotional pain was significant. And one of the things I asked, which is the question I asked earlier to Gabrielle Moncrief, was, did you notice any sign? Like, were there any signs and one of the things she said was, it was hard. the only thing that stood out to her was he didn't really, play a lot of instruments during that time, but then she thought, medical school, residency, all of that was difficult and challenging. But there was already depression in there. He had a beautiful family, he had a son, but that call came, and it changed their lives. It changed the lives of our family, just understanding the dynamics of mental health and suicide. So a life loss is never gone. The pain does not go away. It gets better, but if you have to recap it, think about it, it is fresh like it happened yesterday. And you feel the pain with that individual, and it sits with you. And so that one of the things I do when I meet with my patients who are feeling suicidal is just trying to understand, who were you before? What has happened that has brought you here? And is there by any chance any hope for the future? Because if you can give me something to hold on to, I'm running with it to get you from here to here. Everything else in the middle is going to work itself out, but we're going to get you to that other side. And so these are the things we see. So when we talk about depression, what are the early warning signs? Persistently feeling sad, depressed, worthless. As I'm saying any one of these things, if it resonates with you, take a pen, think about it. Hopeless, feeling constantly anxious, no longer sleeping or sleeping too much. We hear that in the BIPOC community, they say the woman is typically just always angry, but she's really depressed. So there's irritability. So if that is happening to you, you're snapping at every little thing. Once, that was never you before, but you've sort of noticed that it's sort of literally creeping into your space and sphere. And then, you're not sleeping, in terms you're eating too much or not eating at all. These are all the signs, early warning signs. And before you know it, you begin to think, well, I'll be better off if I'm no longer here. That is not what we want. But these are the signs we see when we talk about depression that leads to suicide. And a lot of time this comes with negative coping skills, where we begin to pick up, well, alcohol, I drank some, it made me feel calm and good, and the drugs begin to creep in and begins to affect us, our well-being, our way of health. And so these are things that we always want to resonate with. So if any of the things I just mentioned, any of those signs, if it resonates with you, we have the suicide hotline. Definitely, give them a call. 988 is the number that I think the FDA approved since sometime last year. So that's really one of the areas in itself. And so we continue to see that things are literally changing throughout. When you think about all the challenges that we've faced as a nation, so many things have happened in the past year, and they're going to continue to happen. The Bible says we are troubled on every side, but not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. So there is always going to be some kind of challenge. I wish we could say that life would be free from challenges, but it's not the case. But what we do with it is the most important thing. I'm going to just digress a little bit and talk a little bit about stress. We say it's a word that is kind of loose, but it's important to understand it because of how it affects our human body. I think I mentioned earlier, I love using the holistic approach and integration into things, because when you think about your well-being, it covers our 8 dimensions. And for those who have taken a look, I do have a journal there, and it talks about the 8 dimensions of wellness. And so when you think about it, it's the same with stress. It starts up feeling, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm burnt out. Then I'm feeling depressed, and then I don't think I should be leaving. It's literally goes in that trajectory, and that's what we see with that. So when we think about stress, we have to think about the fact that there is the good stress, there is the bad stress. The good stress is what we, before coming up to sing, you're excited, but you're also like, oh my God, I hope we sing right. You know, that's the good stress, which is good. We all need that. Coming up to speak here, you have some butterflies, like, oh, I hope I say the right thing. So that's the good stress. But then there is the bad stress that we see with what we begin to call as chronic stress. So like with the pandemic, you know, typically it was like supposed to be hopefully a couple of weeks sort of thing and we'll get things under control. But here we are 3 years later, and people still have COVID, and people are still being affected significantly from it. So that's just one part. There are other types of stresses that we might be going through from trauma, any one of these things, and how it truly affects and impacts us. And so when we talk about stress, we have hormones that the body releases. And the one I'm going to focus on is our cortisol, because cortisol, you probably hear of it a lot of times, but it's helpful because it regulates our body. It regulates your immune system, your heart, your blood pressure, all of these things. And one of the key things to know is that cortisol is highest in the morning. That's where you get your energy from. That's when you're like, oh, gotta go. You know, you're the brightest in the morning. You're ready to do what you set your mind to do for that day. And as you notice through the course of the day, it's decreasing. And you're like, oh, I'm getting tired. You know, I could just go and just relax on the couch. And that's the cortisol working there, because it's gone through that state of high alert. You need to be able to focus. You need to be able to concentrate. All your organs, everything is functioning at a peak. But now the cortisol at the end of the day is the lowest. And typically, I think they say around like 8 or so at night that it really tends to be the lowest. But now we've gone through a state of stress. The cortisol is not going down. There is no recalibration. There is no reset. There is no pause. It's like high, 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 high. High, 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 high stress leads to high blood pressure, leads to increase in activities of the work that the heart is doing. It leads to the fact that you're not able to lose weight anymore because you're no longer able to break down in terms of your glucose. And so you now begin to hear of diabetes creeping in. Then you hear of irritability. It affects your reproductive system. You begin to have either sweating constantly that is affecting your endocrinology system. So these are the kind of things we're seeing with the impact of stress. And the reason I tend to do, because when we talk about mental health, it's just one piece. The body it's one body. It's one body, it's one function, and everything affects everything. They're all intertwined. So there is no part that is more important than the other. They are all important, because if we take care of our mind, then we can focus. You can do well at work. If your mind is not set, you can't focus, you can't concentrate. I'm like, when it's 5 o'clock, I'm going home. But you haven't been productive for that day. What does that do? That begins to impact your reviews, your feedback, and things from work. Before you know it, you could be losing your job. If you lose your job, your finances are affected. If you lose your finances, you can't pay for maybe your night school. You can't pay for your education. Education is affected. You lose that ability, your home is at risk. So your environment, things that you could once do, is affected. Then you begin to isolate yourself from your social life, because then there is no one to hang with, because I can't even afford to go out and they're all just going to talk about how great their lives are, and I'm not in that sphere. These are the 8 dimensions of wellness that have been impacted from one part that we totally ignore a lot of times, which is our mind. It says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so it's so important that we're literally transformed daily. And so the ability for the cortisol to reset is important to our success and how we continue to do well overall. And so I'm going to jump right into how can we then take things from where we are right now. What are the coping skills? If you got this somewhere there, you can get to pick it up at some point. It talks about, and I like to call them my coping skills strategy. And so these are ways that can help you cope with anxiety, depression. The first is self-care. We talk about self-care a lot. You've heard it a lot, but do we do it? Is it something that that resonates truly with us? And so the first thing I tell you with self-care is you're giving yourself permission to love you. You know, a lot of times we're literally moving around and we're saying, we're jumping, and you know, we want to just do everything for everybody. You might be that go-to person. Everybody's calling on you. Hey, John, you know, can you help me with this? Hey, John. Well, John needs to say no. So sometimes you might need to learn to say no. And I think that is sometimes difficult because you're like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want to do that, you know, I don't want to make them feel this way or that way. But the reality is, if you don't and you're going at that pace, you're going to burn out quickly. And what does that mean? It really just translates to the symptoms we see. You're irritable, you're frustrated, you're like, I just can't take it no more, right? Something is going off that, you know, it's stemmed in your body. And so you're not able to take care of yourself, you're not able to, you know, even just spend time, like, okay, what season am I in? You know, taking a step back to pause and say, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? And so these are the kind of things we begin to see where we talk about self-care. So if you are that individual that is constantly being present with everyone, it's okay to take a step back. And when I say self-care, people think, oh yeah, I can take a vacation. That is absolutely wonderful if you can. But if you can lock yourself up in the bathroom, if you have kids and can't go anywhere, please, by all means, do that, you know, and just relax and just say, this is me time, mommy time, right? You know, daddy time, whatever it is, just take that time to just recalibrate, you know, just rethink through and just stay in that space. Sometimes that's all you need to just kind of feel like, okay, I got it. I can do this. And then, of course, if you can travel, definitely do what you need to do. Take that vacation that you've been saying you'll do it now. That might just be the best thing that you do to yourself. Number 2 is sleep, exercise, and eating healthy. And I put all 3 together because they all really work together. That is our physical health there. I say all the time, if you don't sleep for 3 to 4 days, you will end up in the hospital. And so we want to make sure that we're sleeping. People ask how many hours. The studies are showing 7 to 9 hours, so as much as you can get. We know that it's sometimes hard for me too, but we need to get our bodies to rest. It's important. If you don't rest, you continue to have issues with your physical health that then translates and affects your mental health. And so being aware about that. And then you talk about eating healthy as much as we can. We know it's not a perfect world. We have our brains, it just likes good food, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, but we can make healthy choices. We can try. We can, you know, make sure we have more greens. Take away the chocolates, you know. Don't necessarily go out to buy it and put it home, but, you know, just make sure if you have to do it once a week or something, or every other week. So making healthy choices definitely is key. And then exercise, we say even if it's just 30 minutes of moving your body, and it doesn't necessarily mean like going to the gym. You could just go around walking, you know, if you work in a circle, just getting that body moving is key, because we know that with the body, there are endorphins that are released, and those endorphins actually kind of what helps us as individuals. It helps your brain understand that, okay, this is good. And you know, when you even talk to a psychiatrist or a mental health specialist, and the first thing they'll tell you is, are you exercising, you know? And if you're not, you should, because that might just be the therapy you need. You know, it's not all medication or the other things that we offer, but there is an opportunity to begin to see that in there as well. And then the next is social media. I talk about social media because I see that we have the pros and the cons with it, and it's important to be intentional and take breaks from social media. So sometimes turn off your notifications, especially if you're trying to get some work done, because you know that that bit goes, you're like scrolling to see who it is, what is it, and then before you know it, it's a pattern. And you know, because there is an addiction element to social media, you know, it's been very, very, you know, theorized, and so we understand that part as well. And so we want to pay attention to the impact that has on you. So be intentional. Sometimes turn off your notifications, take a break from it. You don't always have to be on it. Tell yourself, train your mind, train your body to be able to like be just taking that break from it and just reset. And number 4 is staying connected with family and friends. And so I'm going to give you an exercise right now. If everyone to pick up their phones, I need you to make sure you have at least 4 people that you can call on. They don't have to be your family. They could be your community. They could be people you trust. Oh, well, it has to be people you trust, right? They have to be people that, it doesn't have to be like your sibling, your husband, your wife, or anything. It could just be someone that you feel, I'm safe with this person. I know that if I call them at 1 a.m., they'll respond to me. If I call them at 6 a.m., they will respond to me. If I call them at 10 p.m., they will respond to me, because it's always in the dark night, right? That we feel that need to want to engage with someone or feel like I need to be speaking with someone right now. What is going on? So I want you to make sure you have 4 people that you feel like, so just take some minutes to think, and I'm just gonna drink something as you guys take this for, yes. And so, hopefully you're just thinking, processing like, who are the 4 people I can call? If you have to think, this is the best time and best place and opportunity to, because in those dark hours, it's difficult to think. It's difficult to say, I'm calling you, because at that point, you don't even remember that. And so if we actually take the time to just think through, that's important. And the final will be seeking professional help. So you've done all these things, you're taking care of yourself, you're exercising, you're eating healthy, you're doing all the things your doctors have said you should do, you're taking breaks from social media, you're connecting with family, you're connecting with friends, you feel comfortable, you feel safe and secure, and none of it is still working for you. Seek professional help. There is a place for everyone. We've gone to school to learn these things. I think when we talk about even stigma in the church, it's great. Our pastors are there to support us, but not all are trained in that sphere. So their job is to pray with you, as well as encourage you to get into to seeing a professional. And so that's very important, that we seek professional help when we're going through difficult challenges. So again, we're talking about self-care, self-compassion, sleeping, eating healthy, and exercise, social media breaks, staying connected with family and friends, and of course, seeking professional help. And I wanted to share a scripture here. It says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." So there would always be stress, but how do we handle it? There will be depression. How do we handle it? There will be addiction. How do we handle it? So there will be challenges, but what we do with this is more key. It's what it's what kind of fuels us and makes us move from A to Z, and that was what will keep us kind of regulated together as a team. I have like some mantras that I love sharing, and I would love for you to repeat them after me. Okay? The first is, your mental illness does not define you. I am not alone. It's okay to seek treatment. I am not a failure. I am more than my struggles. What do you think? So these are mantras, affirmations we talk about, and even with therapy, because when those negative words come and you just have this posted or even in your notes on your phone, and you're able to look at it and you're feeling really low, is to remind you that you are not all the things your brain is telling you at that instantaneous moment, but this is who I am. I am excellent. I am beautiful. I am strong. All the positive affirmations, you want to speak it into your life, into your spirit, man, because that's what happens. As we speak positive, we begin to believe. There's a sense of hope that is regenerated with this. And so with mental illness, it's not going anywhere. but what we do with the information we have will help us, in terms of how we continue to deal with the challenges that comes with that as well. So I do, like I mentioned, I have the journal, I have a t-shirt as well. It talks about being renewed, because I'm all about the mind that we have to be renewed daily. It's not just today, it's not one day, because today has its challenges, tomorrow has its challenges, but daily I'm renewed in my mind, my body, my spirit. And then we look at the 8 dimensions of wellness, and we also have a course that is coming up. May is a mental health month, and we're hoping we'll be starting the course. It's a program that just helps delve into your mental health space, into a mindset shift. And so, be sure to check the QR codes and get more information with that. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor, pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pastor Gilbert. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So wasn't that awesome? Let us just, we'll ask that you just wait until she comes to the table, and then she could just tell you exactly what it is. I don't know if she's selling some items or she's whatever. So we just ask that you would just allow her to come. But let us just give her a round of applause. That was just awesome. Great information, right? Great information. I hope that everyone asked their questions. I hope that everyone received what they came for today, that you can take it back to your families and your children, and you could be observant and see and watch and pay attention to what our children are doing. So oftentimes they are doing things, they are involved in things, and we are so involved in things that we're not picking up on some of those little things that we should be doing. And then again, when they just say, oh, I'm just okay, well, we have to understand that word okay does not mean that they are okay. And so I'm just grateful to that, and for how she came and just shared with us. And is open, open to support and to help us out, and to know. I like what she said, Google is not the doctor, you are. I like that. And so it is important that we do our research, and there are so many things out there. And so I would say we are going to be doing another event come June 9th and 10th. We actually having a couple coming out of Tennessee to come and to speak to us. And I asked that, June 9th, we're gonna be at the Brockton Public Library. And then June 10th, we would be at West Middle School. And so we ask that when we're in these settings, I know I see a lot of family, but I believe, if it's okay, Dr. Tola, I believe that we all should bring our children and let them hear and let them be a part, and because sometimes children can ask some things and want to ask some things that they don't want to say to us. And so when we open up these forums, we ask that you would, just bring the whole family. Let everybody come along. Bring the dogs too. Bring the pets too, right? As we see, Carlos came. He's resting now. Did his part. And so it's important. But again, I just want to say thank you, each and every one of you, for taking your time out, coming and being here today with us. We're going to have Voices of Hope. They're going to come. They're going to close us. Just before that, actually, Pastor Mike is coming, and he's just going to share and recognize some of the others that were here with us on this morning. I believe there were probably still food. Don't listen. Take all the food, okay? Because food is good. I like it, the words that she used when she talked about in addiction and how she used rewards. And I'm going to take that back because I have some issue with some family members, and I like when she said rewards. We use food as rewards, but we don't think about when we go into addiction that we are using that as rewards for our bodies as well. And so I like that. So again, we just want to thank you so much, Dr. Tola, for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we look forward to having you again. You know, just such a blessing on today. So come on, Pastor Mike. Yes.
Let's give a round of applause for Dr. Tola. Come on. We thank you that you're taking your gift. We thank you you're taking your... That's right, come on. I don't know where my whistler goes, Stewart. But thank you for that. Thank you for your talent and just bringing it back and really helping out people like us, the grassroots organizations, what we're doing. So we're thankful for that. Just want to give them special thanks as we get ready to close and we open up the floor. As we get ready to close and we linger around, some of us might be breaking down, but feel free to go over to the district attorney's table, pick up some information. Our program, the Umbrella Project, there's free information and a lot of things that can help youth, families, and adults. Just get around, meet each other. This is a platform that we can share. We can collaborate with one another, and that's why we're here today. I couldn't do this by myself, but we got some great partners here in Plymouth County and different friends, and I'm just thankful for Barbara and just, you know, meeting with Steve. We met her on the radio station, and that's how partnerships form. And actually, I was on the set. I was just a guest with Dr. Tola, and I kind of like cornered her before she left the studio. I was like, my wife want to talk to you. My wife didn't even know her. I was like, my wife want to talk to you, you know? So here it is, and with that relationship, we are here today, and I'm so grateful for her. And being in this school is unique. It's a charter school. It's not part of Brockton Public Schools, which has about almost 18,000 students, but this school here has just over 750 students. And a great portion of them, the population that we serve, about 81% are at or below poverty level. And poverty level does not always mean money, but it can be some of the things that she was talking about here today, that we're here, and you know, and we're here to help one another. Some of my students are here today just volunteering. Let's give that up to them. They're doing some things. But I was brought on board to bring programs like this just to help families. And everyone's not in dire need. Some people are just 2 paychecks away from going over the top. We just need to get, and listen, if I had, think about it, how many in here need 2, if you had 2 paychecks, wouldn't you be straight? Only 5 of us? Y'all don't need money? Oh my goodness. I need to go by y'all. You know, I'm telling you, I can use 3 paychecks. That's fine with me, and a stimulus, you know what I mean? So this is real good, and just the programs we're doing. So I just want to give some recognition, and we're gonna come back with Voices of Hope. They will do one last selection. We'll close out. Now let's, Dr. Tola, you're all set? You're all set. So once Voices of Hope come, we will be dismissed, and then feel free to come down to these resource tables, get some information. Hopefully everybody has a blue bag, gift of District Attorney Tim Cruz. There's some information in there. And one thing about programs like this, we're faced with so many crises between family and friends. They come to us with all types of issues and ups and downs and struggles, and sometimes it can be stressful trying to help them and figure it out. But days like this, in those resource bags, there's information where you can refer. You know what I mean? You can refer people to some solid resources that can help them. So we're grateful on today. We're thankful for Brockton Community Access Cable TV. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you for coming out. We're thankful for you. They've actually partnered up with the school, so we're looking to do some collaborative things. But thank you for this broadcast, and I will send you all information when this goes live, so you can call your family and say, hey, I'm on TV, I'm on Comcast. You know what I mean? So thank you for that, appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Let's give a round of applause. Also, we're thankful for Dr. Tola. If you enjoyed it today, she will be on, yes, she will be on, she's on once a month on WRBBradio.org. She is on there, 104.9 FM, with Kid Bro Steve. Raise your hand back there. That's the DJ. He's on the wheels of steel. Y'all hear them live from Northeastern University, Boston. So they're down there once a month. We can hear it, hear her live. And most of all, let's give a round of applause for the school, New Heights Charter School. New Heights Charter School of Brockton. We're so thankful for them. The executive director, Amari Walker. Lord, that's my buddy right there. Lord, raise your hand. New Heights Charter. Boy, she's a team. She's always around. Anytime I need her, she's here. We open up the doors in the school, and she really does a great work. And any student that comes through in these doors, they have to go through her. So she has a huge job. And when they come in the doors, she knows the right place where to place them. So she has a lot of responsibility, and we thank you for that. So one more applause for New Heights Charter. Again, we want to thank Plymouth County Office of District Attorney Tim Cruz and Jen Cantwell that's here to represent. And your colleague, I'm sorry, Jerica, I'm sorry, she's new on the block. All right, Jerica, she's new with the DA. She's running with the big ones. So we thank you for you coming out on today. Round of applause, what we're going to hear from again, Voices of Hope, Barbara Epps. Let's give it up for them. We appreciate them. So awesome. And last but not least, myself and my church, the Umbrella Project, New Life Temple. Thank God for hosting this. All right, this is awesome. So thank God, you guys.